Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to chat briefly with you guys about 7 things I would do differently if I started living my frugal lifestyle over. Let's get started and talk about it. I'm not even sure when I started my frugal lifestyle. I've always been kind of dabbling in it, but I remember when I think I kind of first started it when I started doing my what I call extreme couponing phase. But I've been getting more frugal and making better decisions along the way. The first thing that I would do differently is and I know some of these things I could do now if I wanted, and I'm going to be making some budget changes coming up, and I will be sharing those with you. But the first thing I'd probably do is track all my spending. I know a lot of frugal people that do that, but I think that way I could see the holes and say, I know I don't make a lot of money, but I see some areas that I'm spending that I don't need to be spending, and it's not really bringing me that much value. And so I think that if I would have done that, that could have really helped. Number 2, I know I've shared this a long time ago on the channel. I remember when my husband and I moved in this house. We were not making a lot of money, but we bought this house back in 1997 for $65,000, okay? So our house payment, if I remember correctly, was $633 a month. Can you believe that? Wow, and that included the homeowner's insurance and taxes that went along with that. Well, one of the things is we had a financial advisor come to the house, and they said, well, in order for you to have money for retirement, you guys need to be putting away $500 a month. Well, at that time, with buying this house and everything, there was no way. So I thought, well, we just won't ever have money for retirement, and I didn't get a financial advisor. If I had to do it over again, I would have gotten a financial advisor early on in our marriage, and that way we would be in a better place for retirement. As a matter of fact, I met a lady yesterday who doesn't have a pension, and she is 78. She lives in Amarillo, Texas, and she told me that she cannot live off her Social Security alone in Amarillo, and this is with being frugal, and that she has to supplement with a part-time job. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But if a lot of people want to retire and not work at all, like say age 75, if you don't have a pension or some kind of investments or a really great Social Security or whatever, then it may be kind of challenging to do that. So I should have gotten a good financial advisor and been investing 20% of my income, cut back on things, get a new job, whatever, so that I was better prepared. Okay, number 3, and I've always been bad at this because I am kind of impulsive sometimes by nature, and I get bored easily. So with those 2 special qualities, I can sometimes jump into things and not take my time. Doing more research. People that I know that are frugal, they don't just get one quote and go and make a decision. They do a lot of research before making or purchasing anything, okay? I mean, a lot of folks that I know do that. I've not always been good about that. I think, oh, that sounds good, and I want to make a decision and just, get it off my plate. That is not a smart thing. But that's something I can improve on. Tracking and that are 2 things I can improve on. Number 4, and I can improve on this one too, spending less on holidays and holiday meals. I do think that I have gone overboard before. Good news is I never went in debt, but I just simply did too much, okay? Number 5, another big huge thing that I've done is I just didn't set limits for things, okay? Now some things I don't really have to set a limit for because I don't buy that much of it. For example, I don't need to set a limit on jewelry. I really don't need to set a limit on going out to eat because I don't go out to eat, or even clothing or shoes, okay? But there's some things that I really should have had a budget or a limit for and said, this is all I'm spending, and stuck with that limit. Maybe health and wellness could have been one of those. Holiday meal could have been one of those. Christmas or birthday could have been that. Just different things where I set a limit on stuff, okay? Number 6, I do have a bachelor's degree, but I didn't get a degree that I really ended up utilizing. And I could have done some continuing education in something where it would have helped me get a job, okay? That's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with people going to college and getting an education, but whatever you are going to school for, whether it's a trade school, college, getting it in something where you can actually get a decent paying job so you can live. Okay, number 7, keeping my weight off. That would be one of the biggest things. Losing weight, getting to even a decent weight. Even if I would have gotten to 165 pounds, which is considered overweight, and kept my weight to between 165 and 170 and not gained it and stayed a size 14, 16, that would have been better than me doing this up and down and all these crazy things. So these are 7 things that I would do differently if I were starting my frugal journey over. If you started your frugal journey over, what would you do differently? Let's hear about it in the comments below, but before signing off, I want to say this. It's never too late. We can always make positive changes in our life. That's all I have to say. Love you, appreciate you, and please come back for tomorrow morning's video. Bye, everyone.